So there's this new, I don't even know how new it is because this has been going on since the forever, about people saying that they're working, but they don't have a point in working anymore. That they don't even understand why they're working. So they're saying so many young men now are not at work. They're at home in a basement playing video games. And that people feel like it's pointless to work now because no matter how much they're working, they're not getting ahead. So let's take a look at some of these videos and see what this millennial is saying.
Cause don't nobody want to work no more. No, we can't find good help. That ain't it. First of all, you right. Nobody wants to work anymore. But can you blame them? You get up, you go to work, you clock in, you making somebody else rich. Not only are you making somebody else rich, you're barely making enough to maintain your life or maintain financial stability. Because when you do get paid, you have to disperse so much money throughout the month that you're left with crumbs. And what do you have to do with those crumbs? You have to make those crumbs last to the next paycheck. Now, who is in the rush to do that? Not to mention, the companies damn near don't even care about you. If you pass away today, they will have you replaced tomorrow, and they probably ain't gonna send no flowers.
Well, she's right about that. When people pass away, they be asking other workers to put donation money to help with their experiences. And my thing is like, as a corporation, y'all have the money. Y'all have a fund for this. So when y'all, one of y'all slaves drop dead on the plantation, y'all don't have that. Why do y'all ask other poor working slaves that y'all barely pay anything? Y'all don't offer no pensions or no retirement to. Don't even have a 401k that you match. Why asking them for money to help pay for funeral arrangements, flowers, and table donations? Y'all are corporations that are like, a lot of y'all multi-billion corporations, a lot of y'all all over the globe, y'all fully globalized, and y'all ask the regular working folks that y'all barely paying anything to. Then we got to take all the taxes out the check. Tax, tax, tax. Then we spend the money that we earn. That's tax again at the damn going register. Then you got the income tax again at the end of the damn year. Then you got the tax on the gas. You got the tax. You tax, tax, tax. So don't ask me as an employee to take up money for a situation with another employee, whatever it is, when I feel like as an employer that it's getting that person's time, y'all should have a fund to help pay those things out. Just,
Exactly.
just don't ask me. And then they feel like, oh, and then you see the employees, they're throwing little quarters, dimes, and nickels in the cup, giving less than what a stripper would get because they feel like you barely paying me. I really want to help. I feel bad about this, but you don't pay me enough money to really truly give a donation because you won't even let me get overtime. I can't even get benefits here. What about that?
That is true. It'd be the richest people, it seems, that they want to give the very least.
Great, great. She making some good point. Let's see what else she's talking about.
To your funeral, okay? Out finding good help. Nobody wants to get up and work in this country when we are getting paid crumbs. A lot of us, if you are a millennial and older, I know you tired. I know your body hurt. I know that you are exhausted from punching that clock. I am 38, about to be 39 in exactly 30 days. I've been working since I was 14. All these young kids have to do is look at a millennial and see how tired we are and understand what they have to look forward to. And they don't have to look very far because a lot of the kids at 16, 17, 18 years old, their parents are millennials. So they can hear their mom and daddy talking about how tired they are. They can hear their mom and daddy talking bad about the jobs and about the workforce or whatever. Like they can see the struggle, unfortunately. So
Well, now with all the work, these companies now, all of them, whether it's white collar work, blue collar work, they're trying to do the AI anyway to get you up out of there. So you might be tired now. They say within 10 years you won't be tired because you won't have a job. I guess there's universal basic income that's going to come play because the job's not going to be available. So my thing is go to work, do your job, and leave. Don't go above and beyond, especially when they give you raises. It's only for 5 cent, 10 cent, 2 cent, no raise at all. You know, they don't give you any bonuses that's comparable to the people that are at the top of the hierarchy. They're getting those hundreds of $1,000 bonuses, even $1 million plus bonuses. And when it comes down to the employees, they want to give you maybe a $500 bonus that the IRS comes to take half of before you ever see it. So yeah, don't work and be productive, but definitely don't kill yourself because no, they don't care about you. And if you drop at your chair, they'll put out a hiring notice and put somebody else to be replacing your chair. So just do your job and go home.
why would they go and clock in and give that company 100%? They know better. And I'm so glad they know better because had I known then what I know now, I would not have been a worker bee at such a younger age. I would have figured out some other shit. And not to mention the millennials that just have so much student loan debt that even if you get the best job you can find, you're going to be paying those student loans for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, yeah, because the jobs that people would get from coming out of college with the ones who've gone to the private schools and they've racked up an immense amount of debt, these businesses are not hiring. And the ones that are hiring are not paying you a salary that's substantive to keep up with the cost of living. The cost of living has gone up so much, but the wages have remained stagnant. So, like I said earlier, these employers, these big corporations, we ain't talking about a mom and pop shop. These huge corporations, these ones that are trading on the stock market, when they give out raises, it's pennies. It's pennies. So no, you don't have the cost of living money because last I checked, your light bill didn't go up just a couple pennies, your rent didn't go up just a couple pennies, your mortgage didn't go up just a couple pennies. All these things are going up. So she made some great points, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, that they were all some great points that she brought up about how it's basically all a trap, and I just it's like a sick feeling you get when you realize it. Why do they seem to want to hold everybody down? They don't pay good at all. The circumstances they're just not letting up.
But you know what's crazy to me? With this whole topic, it's like I don't understand. I get we're a part of a globalized economy now, especially after the Industrial Revolution, but I mean, the money is just printed money. It's not real money. It's not made of gold or silver or any other resource that is limited in its availability. It's just printing it. So why do you need to pay so much taxes on something that they printed in the first damn place? I mean, you printed it and gave it to me. You printed it and gave me this meager amount in the paycheck. You got many more where that came from by the push of a button. So why do you sit there and every dollar that you print the person that gets it has to pay so much taxes on the dollars that you print. My thing is then why don't we just do away with money altogether and go back to a barter system where things are traded on natural resources like food, like doing jobs and services because it is rigged because the one that's taxing you is also the one that's printing it, also the one that's in control of prices, also the one I mean they're in control of everything. So to me it is a big scam when it comes down to how they pay you because then why should a fireman only earn 70,000, but a singer can earn 700 million,
Hmm.
and the football players could earn 100 million, but the cop can only get $50,000? Why? So when you think about that, it is a scam. But let's proceed.
Having to go to work to gain money to pay to live on an earth I didn't ask to be on. Yeah, it really
Real.
feels like a subscription service I never signed up for. Yeah, and the trial period ended way too fast. Like 1 minute I'm a kid watching cartoons, the next minute I'm paying rent to stay alive on a floating rock. Who designed this system? I mean, work so I can afford food, so I can have energy to go back to work. It's a scam. Okay, and the
He
worst part
makes a
is
good
if you
point.
complain,
We didn't sign up. And it is true because think about it. They let you work, I mean, depending on the state that you're in, as young as 16, even 15, some states probably even 14. So you really only get, especially if your parents are okay with it while you're finishing up school, you get maybe 1/5 of your life where you're not worried about all these financial burdens. Your parents or your guardians or whomever is worried about it. And then the rest of your life, and now Social Security full retirement age is 70. That's when you get the maximum benefit. I think by the age of 67, you can get your benefits and still work without being reduced. I mean, think about that. From 20 to 67, that is what, 47 years? You're supposed to work for 47 years and only get maybe 18, maybe 20, maybe 15 where you're not under the stress. I mean, that's as rigged as it can get. I mean, who wants to be born just to do that? Yes, you should work and be productive, absolutely, but you should also be able to afford life when you're working. And stop telling people just go to school, get more school. There are so many millions of people that have gone to school for good degrees, and the jobs are not hiring. And if they are hiring, they're not paying people what it costs to live. Be honest, employers are not paying people what it costs to live. And no, everybody cannot start a business and be rich overnight. So don't even bother putting that in the comments.
people hit you with, that's life. Yeah, well, life needs an update then, okay? Because this version is glitchy. Okay, every morning I wake up like, did I choose this? Was there an options menu I missed? Because if there was a button for free housing or unlimited sleep, I definitely didn't see it.
Well, no, you
Okay,
can
I'm
get the
basic.
free housing if you want to play on the system. Like some people, well, the current administration is putting a stop to that. If you're able-bodied, they're not even giving you free housing anymore past 2 years if you don't somehow get back to work or get to work if you've never worked. So, yeah, a lot of folks miss that option, while some folks got to sit on a system for 15, 20, 30, 40 years and pay $25 in rent. But let's go on.
Clocking in every day to avoid dying from basic expenses. Okay, like imagine explaining that to a child. Yeah, buddy, mommy goes to work so that we don't die. And don't even get me started on taxes. Why am I paying someone to take money from money I never wanted to earn in the first place, but that I now need? I honestly, I think we were just meant to vibe in nature and eat. But no, now I have to answer emails from people I've never met, so I don't end up living under a bridge. Because
Yep. She
I would
makes
not
a good
recommend it.
point because, other species, any other species that's not human, they were placed on this earth by their animal parents. And guess what they're doing? They're hunting to survive. They are living in groups to survive. And those that are not able to survive don't. But they're not sitting there getting up every day to work for fiat currency. They just live by the rules of nature. And we're the only species that, honestly, you'll never get to work. A lot of folks will never get to work those 47, 50, or 60 years because depending on the line of work you did, whether it's physical labor, mental labor, stress, and exhaustion, you'll be dead anyways. You'll never get to enjoy that retirement if you even live long enough. You'll never get that pension from the job because they'll stress you out by hiring too few people to make you do the job of about 5 or 6 people, so where every day you get up to go rinse and repeat at that job, you'll be so stressed you won't last long enough to ever see those monies, in my opinion anyways.
And it's like, why is that? What was different from our evolution that all these other animals were able to live freely on Earth as it should have been? But with us, we somehow came to being on this hamster wheel that we can never get out of because we're basically being held down by those above us. Like, how did that even become the root cause?
And if you're gonna be on a hamster wheel, at least make the hamster wheel a little nice. Like if you run it, you get some real benefits, like a nice home. You can afford a nice, safe home in a decent neighborhood. You don't have to live in like a crappy neighborhood because you can't afford like $5,000 for a mortgage. Or when you go to the grocery store, you can buy a good amount of food in your cart without it totaling $600, $700 just for a few bags of things. At least makes the hamster wheel nice. But the powers that be, and they keep it going and keep it going because ultimately I think it's about just people be so stressed they don't have time to realize what's going on. They don't have time to realize the rights that they're losing. They don't have time to realize that the family that they have, they really should just be enjoying that once in a lifetime experiences that they're supposed to be having with them, and be productive, yes, but it shouldn't be to just barely earn a living. If you're going to do all that, sacrifice literally your life because you're literally sacrificing a huge portion of your life every single day that you do it, a huge portion of your life energy. You should be compensated decently, especially for those people who have taken an extra amount and gone to the educational institutions, obtained these degrees, and then they think they're going to get a job in that degree, then they don't even get hired, and then now they're trying to pay back the loan. I mean, it's just disgusting. But let's continue.
So happy working for absolutely no money if I did not need money to survive. If I didn't need to worry about home or food or my education, I would so happily give my resources to anybody who needed it. I don't believe the only ones who deserve to enjoy everything that there is in this life are rich people. And I know this is a genuinely hard concept to
I
get
agree
through
with
some.
that. Like, why is that? And don't say because rich people work really hard for their money. No, they don't, because you have a lot of nepotism, people that were born into rich families. You have a lot of people that have monopolized certain industries and spaces where they're just hoarding all that money. You have a lot of people that haven't worked a day hard in their life, but because they knew somebody, they're making tons of money. So no, I do not think that only wealthy people should be able to have the luxury of going on vacation. You know how many people work hard, work 2 jobs. Both parents are working if there's children, and they can't afford to go on a decent vacation. Or when they're on vacation, they're stressing to get back so that they don't be out of work too long, so they can catch up on all the madness at work and get another paycheck. I think that that's so wrong that only people that have quote unquote wealthy because they have this fiat currency. Heck, they probably have gold to get to live a life of a luxurious life like that. But if you want to live a certain way, you can work two jobs. You could work and only sleep maybe 2 hours a night. It's still not going to be enough money to keep up with this overinflated system, unless you're going to live in pretty much a cardboard box in a neighborhood that's less than desirable, and try to stack as much money as you can. But really, how much can you stack? Because if you work overtime, that's taxed higher than your regular rate. They just have it rigged all around, and you're not going to get ahead. But not today, anyway.
Capitalist sympathizers' heads, but yes, some people will be willing to do work when money is not the incentive. Also, we act as if there's not so many other ways for us to trade, and like we haven't
I
been
agree.
trading for thousands of years prior to the creation of paper money.
Thank
I
you.
say all this because a lot of people try to act as if there's no alternative to capitalism,
Right.
only because individuals will be unwilling to give up
The
their
status.
wealth in order
Yep.
to see everybody else prosper. I think a lot of us are limited by our beliefs that capitalism cannot fall in our lifetime and that nobody will be willing to work if profit is not the incentive. Hot take, but I've been
I definitely think we're at end stage of capitalism. I think everything is imploding on itself. I think a lot of people, all different age groups, even some older folks that should have been able to comfortably retire, they're at work. They're at the local convenience stores and supermarkets working because they don't have enough money to live on their retirement. I think that this does need to change. It needs to change now. They're telling people they can use a 401k now to take out money to buy a house. So they should use the money they're supposed to retire on to take out a 30-year mortgage or maybe even a 50-year mortgage. So when they get to retirement age and they're no longer working, what money are they even going to have? Because even the 401ks aren't enough. So let us know what you think. Do you think working is somewhat of a scam in a sense that it's all controlled, really, and kind of rigged? You got the different tax brackets. You got all the different loopholes that some groups get versus the other ones don't get. What about this thing of working and then you got to pay property tax? So even if you're retired to like the day you pass away in most situations, and you got to pay all the taxes on everything that you buy. Do you think that that's scammy, or are you perfectly fine with it? Um, do you think your wages have kept up with inflation? I know some probably have. Some of the people that were fortunate, or let's just say to pat them on the back, work really, really hard, really, really hard, really, really hard. You're keeping up with all the changes that have happened. But for those who are still working very hard and the cost of living has not kept up with the dollar that you're earning, do you think that this whole system needs to be revamped? Let us know in the comments.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please have a good one and take care.